It's so important to us that the museum be for everybody. So this is a home to showcase what the Academy has been about since 1927.
The Academy is the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Science. We found this very interesting from an architectural point of view because architecture is very similar.
The Academy and the city of Los Angeles since the late 1920s have been talking about building a museum devoted to motion pictures. In the museum, we will celebrate the past, the present, and the future of motion pictures. We want to tell a lot of complicated stories, a lot of celebratory stories, and we want to have people leave with a sense of the diversity that is what the film industry is all about. We hired Renzo in 2012. Our site is on the LACMA campus on the corner of Wilshire and Fairfax, next to two Renzo Piano buildings, BCAM and the Resnick. So we hired him in 2012 to both restore the 1939 May Company department store and then build the David Geffen Theater that represents the dream of movie making. So you have an adaptive reuse project and a new construction.
The challenges that came to us from the Academy was from one side to celebrate the history of movie making, and on the other side to be very contemporary. The idea was to find in the May Company, that is in 1939, very loved landmark building in Los Angeles, the history of the cinema. And then in this new building, finding the contemporary aspect of it. And then moving from one building to the other, kind of celebrating this moment.
We will have a lot of free spaces. We want this to be a place for all of Los Angeles. So we have a ground floor piazza underneath the Sphere that connects to the free lobby of the museum that will include a fantastic introductory experience that's free and a beautiful restaurant where you can grab food and sit on the piazza and you can come and spend the day.
We tried to keep the ground floor open because people love this part of town. We call it piazza, but it's a public space. Kids being there just on a Sunday afternoon, not even maybe going to the museum. It's basically creating a stronger connection between the community and the museum, because we feel like the city has to embrace the museum every day.
We have a two-story exhibition called Stories of Cinema. That's our core exhibition that will change over time, but this talks about all of the collaborations that go into movie making. We have many film artists who are curating special exhibitions for us. You will learn all about the history of the Academy Awards, but you'll hear a lot of complicated conversations too. And as we evolve as a society and an industry, we want to address that as well as celebrate the work that we do.
Cinema is changing. Every year, every day is constantly changing. So it's not like a set art that you can showcase from now until the next 20, 50, 100 years. So we wanted to be flexible in the exhibition space to make sure that the Academy in the future had the possibility to change freely the plan and the exhibitions. The department store had a very flexible grid, and you can easily swap things in and out without compromising the structure too much. When you are watching a movie with other people in a movie theater, you kind of go away for an hour and a half, you're not yourself anymore, it's just a dream. So we wanted to make a physical representation of that concept. And so we wanted the building to fly, to be lifted off the ground. When the earthquake happens, the heart moves, but the building stays still. On the other side of the bridges, you have a building that instead is moving with the seismic event. All the movements get transferred through the bridges. This was the main challenge between the new building and the old building, having them to work together and being able for the bridges to take the movement of the seismic event without collapsing, obviously, without staying in place. And a new building that has to be, state-of-the-art engineering system.
On the 5th floor, that is a special event space. We've restored it to a party event area. And then connected to that across a glass bridge is this amazing terrace that sits on top of the Geffen Theater. This is our Dolby family terrace. So if you want to hang out in the lobby, go up through the building on our beautiful set of escalators where you see the city rising up through the glass wall, you can go up to the top of the terrace and have the most amazing views of Los Angeles.
This space is one of the most important for us because it's really like the end of your journey inside the museum. If you draw the building, it's a very simple sequence. You see all the history of movie making. A big part of it, obviously, is Los Angeles, and you are in Los Angeles. Your last stop of your journey is understanding that you're in the place where everything happened. And LA is a good city to do this because even if we are like 5 stories above ground, you have a nice view outside.
In addition, we have 2 theaters, the 280-seat Ted Mann Theater and then the 1,000-seat Geffen Theater where we are today. This theater, the David Geffen Theater, is unlike anything anyone has seen before. We can show nitrate, 70, 35, 16 digital. We can do everything in this space. We have an orchestra pit. This is going to be an incredible home for the movie industry and for movie lovers from around the world.
For the new building, there was this idea of the spaceship, kind of like levitating because it's ready to take off as soon as the movie starts. We wanted to celebrate that by making the skin of the theater concrete. Concrete has a lot of mass, so it's very good for acoustic. What we have done to control the geometry of the sphere is that the formwork is prefabricated concrete, and then on top of this structure we added the dome that you see here. So these steel arches with glass shingles. The space is naturally ventilated because obviously again we are in LA, so we want to take advantage of the good weather of the city and the breeze that you have. The glass of the dome is shingled. This way we were able to make the glass pieces more efficient, so reduce the amount of waste in the production of the glass. The Academy obviously is a strong presence in the city. The idea of building a museum has been around since Douglas Fairbanks. They've talked about, we should have a museum about what we do because we are the place where things happen. The Academy found and wanted this site to work. We wanted this to feel like a campus, not just the Academy Museum and the LACMA Museum. There's a section that we always show where you have the screen box from the new building and the facade of the Saban building. It's exactly aligning with the street that goes to LACMA. This idea of being urban and connected was always present. We are a station of a sequence of museums that kind of enhance this idea of being a cultural hub. So kind of like centralize this cultural institution to make them stronger and work as a system.
Renzo, of course, has built a beautiful structure for us. The bones of the original 1939 May Company are fantastic. What the museum can do and will do is bring the discussion, the celebration, the complications of our history, of our industry to the world.